Okay, so we have to simplify this expression right here, which says tan squared x times cotangent squared x plus 1 divided by tan squared x plus 1. So the first thing we can do here is just multiply the numerator together. So we'll get tan squared x times cotangent squared x, and then just plus tan squared x. And then this is all divided by the numerator, which is just tan squared x plus 1 again. Now, if you can see here, this says tan squared x times cotangent squared x, and this just simplifies down to 1. This identity right here just simplifies down to 1. So, if this is just equal to 1, we can just replace this and say this is 1 plus tan squared x divided by tan squared x plus 1. And this is also the same thing as if you just swap around the numbers, you can just get tan squared x plus 1 all divided by tan squared x plus 1 again. And anything divided by itself is just going to be 1. So this is the final answer for, or not the answer, just the simplified version of this expression. Okay, so now this one is a little bit longer than the last one because you have 2 sine x plus 3 cosine x squared plus 3 sine x minus 2 cosine x squared. So let's split this into 2 for a second. Okay, so let's take this one here, which is just 2 sine x plus 3 cosine x squared. Squared, right? Okay, so we can just FOIL this together. So we'll get 2 sine x plus 3 cosine x times 2 sine x again plus 3 cosine x. Okay, so now if we FOIL this, in FOIL, it's an acronym for first, outer, inner, and last. So the first two terms, and then the outside terms, and then the inside terms, and then the last two terms. So if we start with f, which is the first two, that's just going to be 4 sine x squared, because 2 sine x times 2 sine x is going to be 4 sine squared x, actually, my bad. So now the next is going to be the outside. So 2 sine x times 3 cosine x. So this is just going to be 6 sine x cosine x. And then it's the same thing again. So again, plus 6 sine x cosine x. And then plus, here, I'll just put it here for a second, plus 9 cosine squared x. Okay, so now we can simplify this a little further. So now we have on the left side 4 sine squared x plus 12 sine x cosine x. Because these two are the same, have the same value. And then plus 9 cosine squared x. Okay, so we can just leave that for now. Now let's work on this side. So we have 3 sine x minus 2 cosine x multiplied with each other. So 3 sine x minus 2 cosine x. And then if we FOIL it again, the first two terms will just be 9 sine squared x. And then the outside terms, it's just going to be minus 6 sine x cosine x, and then minus 6 again, minus 6 sine x cosine x, and then I'll do it here for the last one. So negative 2 cosine x times negative 2 cosine x is just going to be plus 4 cosine squared x. And then again, we can simplify a little further. So now we have 9 sine squared x minus 12 sine x cosine x plus 4 cosine squared x. Okay, so now we can add them together, and now we have 4 sine squared x plus 12 sine x cosine x plus 9 cosine squared x. I just took it from the left side, which is this one, and then now we can add this with this one right here, which is similar. So 9 sine squared x, and then minus 12 sine x cosine x, and then plus 4 cosine squared x. Okay? And now if we add these two together, this is just going to be 13 sine squared x, and then this is just going to be 0, because 12 sine x cosine x minus 12 sine x cosine x is just going to be 0, so we can just say plus 0, and then plus, and then 9 plus 4 is 13 cosine squared x. And now if you see, we have just 13 sine squared x plus 13 cosine squared x. And now we can take 13 out of this, so we'll just have 13 times sine squared x and then plus, that's going to be plus cosine squared x. And now if you remember, sine squared x plus cosine squared x equals just 1, like the last one, except this time it's sine squared x plus cosine squared x is just going to be 1. So you can just say 13 times 1, which is just going to equal 13. And so that's a simplified version of this expression. Okay, so the next expression is 1 plus cosecant x times sine x minus sine squared x. So let's start off by multiplying both of them together. So let's FOIL it. So the first two terms are 1 and sine x. So we can just say that is sine x. And then the outer terms are negative sine squared x and 1. So like we can just say sine squared x. And the inside is cosecant x and sine x. So we can just say this is cosecant x sine x. And then the last is negative sine squared x and cosecant x. So we can just say this is negative sine squared x and cosecant x. So now we can simplify both of these terms, okay? So if you remember, cosecant x is also the same thing as 1 over sine x. So if you multiply this is the same thing as 1 over sine x times sine x, which is just going to be 1. I'll write it down here. Sine squared x. And then this is just going to be sine x over sine x. Okay, and then now this one is also the same, except instead of just sine x, it's sine squared x. So sine squared x equals sine x sine x. That's why it's squared. Okay, so that means sine x times sine x, and then it's multiplied by cosecant x, so divided by sine x, we can just take off one of them. So we're just left with sine x. Okay. Now this is just going to be minus sine x. Okay. Now we have sine x minus sine squared x plus 1 minus sine x. Now we can cancel off this one and this one because it's the same. And then now we're left with 1 minus sine squared x. Now the next identity we have is, if you saw the other example, we have sine squared x plus cosine squared x equals 1. And this is also the same as if you subtract it, sine squared x, sine minus sine squared x. You're left with cosecant squared x equals 1 minus sine squared x, which is the same thing we have here, 1 minus sine squared x and 1 minus sine squared x. So we can just replace this as cosine squared x. And that's just the final answer. Or not answer again, that's a simplified version of this expression.